Why a yurt? That's a good question. After spending time in a gur in Mongolia, I wondered for myself, could I turn a yurt into something that you could live in off-grid? Is this the most efficient, most economical way to kind of have an instant house? If you're at all interested in alternative lifestyles and structures, like me, I like tents, I like cabins, it's just another thing to look into. So I've been working for about a month installing this yurt on an off-grid property we own in Michigan. So I want to take you through the install process, how I built the platform, and what it took to raise this thing, and ask the question, is this the most efficient, most economical way to kind of have an instant house? There are a lot of skeptics. I know for me, they're kind of magical. We can get into the details about this specific yurt later, but as an overview, this is a 20-foot yurt. It has a French door in the front, 2 real windows on one side, another half door in the back. These 2 windows are fully screened, can be opened and closed, and obviously the skylight that opens with a crank. I felt like a 20-footer was a really good size to start with. For me, real doors and windows were important, and I definitely wanted an entrance on both ends of my yurt. I wanted more access to air moving through the yurt and more features that you would find in a real home or cabin. I envision a loft with a bed, I envision a kitchen, a sitting area, and a small little bathroom under the loft. A wood stove, I've already bought the wood stove. I've got some neat ideas in mind to turn this place into something really special. So I went and picked up my yurt, a bit more than I was expecting. I have a 10-foot trailer. This thing's probably 7 feet tall. I had to take the rack off the back so it fit in.
Now to begin, I needed to build a platform. And if you want to see the details of that, I have a video link below. You can watch the entire process. In the world of yurt platforms, this is a rather unique design by Trillium Domes, who I'm a huge fan of. So I definitely would recommend this as a platform for your yurt. The next step in the process was laying down the subfloor. Now this is a 3/4 inch tongue and groove called Dry Max. This is moisture resistant. It's a little more high quality than your standard OSB product.
I'll patch in a few little spots, but it's a circle now. All right, next thing to do is lay out the insulation. When I get it laid out, I'm going to use these 3-inch cap nails. Shout out to Sam and Zach, a couple of my subscribers, who kind of helped line me out on this insulation process. It's going to be the subfloor, then the insulation, then the plywood. It seemed to make so much more sense than insulating every one of those tiny, weird, triangular cavities I have. Like, that sounded like a nightmare. So this is a good option that they said worked good for them. So thank you to Sam and Zach for this awesome idea.
Insulation, I was using a standard 2-inch rigid foam board. Now I was laying these perpendicular to the subfloor so none of the cracks would line up, allowing any cold air to come through.
Just gonna wind up my pencil till I sit right at 10. I'm going to roll it around the circle. Okay, got the insulation. It's another circle. Time for more heavy lifting.
For the top layer, I was just using a 3/4 inch tongue groove plywood, a little bit nicer grade, and I had planned on topping it with some vinyl laminate flooring, but at the end decided just to go with the plywood, staining it and coating with spar urethane.
It's
8:30. That was absolutely horrible. That took me like over an hour to jigsaw out this plywood. Tomorrow's yurt day. I gotta get up here early in the morning so I can be ready so we can put this up. I gotta go. Oh, there she is. I wish I could go and it would be up. But Dave's coming to help me today. Oh, Dave is coming to help me today. We're going to try to get this thing up. There it is. There it is. At the last minute, I was still making preparations for the actual install. I had to get all the batter boards ready and stained. The first thing we needed to do with the yurt install is unpack all of the windows and doors and place them on the platform where they would go. Once the measurements had been taken, it was time to cut away a spot in front of each of them to make it flat. I need my battery. Once that was done, they could be screwed in place. At the same time, we were also measuring and installing all of the batter boards, or the drip edge. This drip edge is what the outside layer of the yurt would get secured to. With the drip edge, the doors, and the windows in place, it was time to place all the lattice sections. It was important that all of the sections be the same height, and you would just simply adjust as you needed to make sure that was the case. Next, it was time to lay out the steel cable that encircled the top of the lattice and actually provided all of the structural integrity of the yurt. This is where the rafters would sit, and all of the strength of the yurt lies.
Come on, Mooser. Good man.
Buddy.
Dave's brother Ryan came to help and also brought his dog Charlie. So we had lots of furry friends around to give us a hand.
Okay. While one person lifts the center ring, have the teammate insert a third and fourth rafter into the center ring opposite of the door.
Yeah, that's the stupidest ladder ever.
And this is all you gotta do right here. It's just
Okay, same thing. I think you set them on either side of the door. Raise together.
Get it or did it?
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
There
yeah.
we go. That worked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Lift her up a bit. Go back that direction. Okay. Well, happy with that?
Yep. Having never put up a yurt before, I was just going off the instruction booklet that came with the yurt. It was definitely a learning experience.
not terrible. It's just getting your hand on it the right way, you know.
As each rafter went up, the structure got more solid by the minute. At the end of the day, I don't think putting up this yurt was that difficult, but you definitely needed to pay attention to details. And we also made a couple of phone calls to the owner of the company for clarity, which definitely helped.
Last time I did one of these was a 8.2 earthquake. 2001.
Was
In
it?
Hot Springs, Alaska.
Was it after the earthquake?
No, we were putting the yurt together. I was holding the ladder, and it was a bigger yurt than this, if I remember right. I don't know. But I was holding the ladder, and there was a Scottish guy named Charlie, of all people.
Mhm.
We got about the same crew here. Putting the Lexan bubble on the top. And all of a sudden, the place just starts, and Charlie's like, "Hey, stop shaking that fucking ladder." And I'm like, "Charlie, we're having an earthquake, buddy." And he's like, "Oh my goodness." And he comes down, and we went outside, and the trees are just, the little short, stumpy black spruce trees are just flopping back and forth.
Holy cow.
Like, I mean, 3-4 feet at a shot, trees that are 10 feet tall. It was a violent earthquake, and the whole floor looked like a tilt-a-whirl, and we just leveled it.
We did have scaffolding, but it seemed easier to work off a ladder at times.
Laying down on the job. Look at you. Where's Moose? Where's Moose Man? Where'd he go? There he is. He's waiting patiently for the door to open.
Looking dog.
All the rafters over the doors and windows needed to get screwed into place. Next thing to go up was the light inner layer over the rafters, followed by the insulation.
You just kind of want to find a rafter to roll it, you know, the seam down and then start opening. Oh, yeah.
Next came the incredibly heavy, difficult to maneuver top vinyl layer. It was all Dave could handle, and the hole was very small.
I think you're stuck anyway.
Well, the problem is space. There's no space.
There wasn't enough room to elevate a second layer of scaffolding, so he had to
That's
work off the
terrible.
ladder.
You okay?
What?
You need to take a minute?
Yeah.
This top layer proved to be probably the most difficult part of the whole yurt install. Not to mention it was pushing 90 and high humidity that day. Next up was the insulation layer of the walls, and that simply got zip tied to the cable above. With my yurt, I ordered an upgraded insulation kit for both the walls and the roof. After the wall insulation came the outer vinyl layer, which had to be clipped into the cable above. The idea was just to get it roughly in place, and I would do the rest of the adjustments later.
Hi, puppies. Hi, puppies. Hi, Charles.
The last thing I needed help with was getting the clear skylight in place. So before everyone left, we got that up on the top.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
See? It worked. You okay?
I think it was the stapler.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see a stapler down.
I think it's sitting about where it's supposed to be.
It's just supposed Guys just left. That was absolutely brutal. It's pushing 90 degrees today, so it is not the best day for this, but Dave's leaving for Alaska and kind of had this hard deadline. So today was the last day we could try. I have a lot of finishing work to do, but the main everything is up. And I'm just beat. But there she is. She is officially up. It is just Disasterville around here. It is absolute chaos from one end to the other. Just disaster. Look at this. So this is extra supports for snow load. I still have to install uprights there. It's just a freaking disaster. I hate this mess. It's bad. It's so bad.
The next day I was back at it. I had a lot of work to do yet.
This is what's gonna raise and lower the skylight. That's a pretty great view from the dome. Heck yeah. Get everything screwed in and attached. Hopefully we're good. Let's test it. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, my neck. So right now I'm in the very tedious process of getting these walls hung correctly. Hardware on the other side and then screwed in. It's just very tedious and difficult by yourself. So, but I'm managing. And at the same time, I'm adjusting all of this insulation so it fits correctly.
Getting the walls and everything else dialed in solo was definitely doable, but it would have been way more ideal with a second hand. But I managed, and within a matter of a day or two, got everything buttoned up and looking good.
So one thing I have left to do, I just did the floor. 1 coat of stain, 2 coats of spar urethane. Now I'm trimming out these doors and window spots that need this rain or drip board around the perimeter. Call them batter boards. So getting that covered up, because that's nasty. Ooh, so I am nearly done. I've just screwed down the whole edge of the perimeter. It's nice and tight. Now I've added these snaps up here and snapped down the front. And now while I'm up here, I'm going to add these rain diverters, which is a really cool thing. These just slide into a sleeve up there, and then they divert the water away from the door. So I'm going to slide those in. But I'm almost done with this thing. It's almost done. Just a couple more small details. And there are just a lot of details, but it's not hard. It's just detail work. She's just about done. What do you think, buddy? So this crate has a lot of material I could use for maybe building a little shed for my ATV and my tools and stuff. So I'm going to dismantle this, and I have to anyway. It's got to come off my trailer. I need my trailer. Came with my yurt, so might as well use it.
In order to pick up my yurt package from the freight company, I had to remove the back gate of my trailer.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I need 2 people.
Lining up the 2 pins to get it back in place
Oh, there we
was
go.
just one more challenge.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, yes. Just so ready to clean this place up. I hate this mess. Hate it. So,
One of the last things I had to do was install the snow and wind load kit, which is just extra rafters around the perimeter.
for me this year, it's just another way to explore alternative living situations. Besides cabins, besides tents. You guys know I'm big fans of those, but this is different. This is something that I feel like is almost instant. I've done all of this within a month, building the platform for the yurt, clearing this land, getting it ready. I did all myself. So with just a couple of extra people for the actual raising of the yurt, this is something, it takes very little manpower. What I intend to do on the inside here is very simple systems, bucket systems, composting toilet, just water on the counter, draining into a bucket kind of a system. Very, very stripped down, bare bones, essential, simple off-grid living. I do plan on installing a solar system for lights and some power inside, but other than that, this is going to be typical to like what a lot of off-grid people in Alaska, how they deal with the systems. But I feel like that is the most doable for most people. Upgrading and upgrading and upgrading to more things, yes, it does make your life more convenient, but it doesn't necessarily make it more simple or easy. So this is an experiment to find out, can you turn this yurt into something that's totally feels like home? We started out in a 12 by 12 foot cabin, and we built that with our own hands out of log with a tiny little loft, and it felt like home. But this actually feels like an actual space you can do something with. This is 300 square feet on the ground. To the top of the dome is like 11 feet. So all that volume of space, it just feels so airy and so open and so inviting to me. Also don't have water here yet. I either need to do a well or I need to figure out water catchment with the rain. So there's so many things to think about, and it's exciting. I'm looking forward to this journey, and I hope you'll be along for the ride. Hope you guys liked the video. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next one. This is Girl in the Woods. She gone. Oh, and don't forget to get outside and get happy.